to another episode of the Ballinesian Podcast here on the Polytickin network. Someone's talking about sports. We're going to be recapping the Thunder's win, what it means for the NBA, Halliburton's injury, as well as Jim Harbaugh talking about some of a player on the Chargers is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. So we're going to try to find the Hall of Famers on the Chargers and Raiders.
Only because he went to Notre Dame. That's the only reason why.
So we were both rooting for Joe Alt. Notre Dame, current Charger. Yeah, it's great. Someone's talking about sports here on the Polytickin network. Make sure to check out the Polytickin podcast, the Polytickin Patreon, as well as the Pacifica Movie Starter Kit and the Polytickin Network channel on YouTube. Follow, like, subscribe, and support us through the Patreon. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for listening. Every Wednesday at 9 a.m. is when we are dropping on Apple and Spotify podcasts, as well as on YouTube. Check us out every week for your sports takes. If you're a Chargers or Raiders fan, this is where you need to be. And then any of the big stories that you want to cover or hear about us talking about, we'll get them.
Yeah, if you're a Chargers fan, sit in the back.
To the front. I'm driving.
Sit
Get
in the
up
back
here.
and pass
Pick the music.
drinks.
Come pick the music.
We came to help set up.
We said a little behind the curtains, but since we were taking a day delay to publish this, I started adding the music back onto the. Now that I had time to do a little editing, I'm like popping it in. I'm like, oh, let's do the intro music again. There's definitely a feeling here.
You should spit 16 on the music.
Don't. I'll write something. I will. All right, I got some notes. I got some notes in my phone with some bars, bro. Some bars.
It's hard out here.
No! So here on the Ballinesian Podcast, the Polytickin Network, we are sponsored by Levasa Island Apparel. Shout out to brother Uri. Follow him on Instagram, le_Vasa. That's LE_VASA. To follow Levasa Island Apparel on Instagram and the latest that they got going on. Also, shout out to brother Uri for the Villa Dolorosa Community Market, that neighborhood market that they've been having at the church there. 1331 Cascade Avenue for the next one. But definitely follow Levasa for when they have the markets or the food drive or anything else that's going on there in the community of Modesto.
That guy's my hero, man.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I talked to him.
So big in the community.
This guy. It's cool to see what he's always talked about, like popping up into actions, right? To do the food drive, to be able to give people food. And right now it's starting to get a little expensive out there. So that's definitely a community resource that's affecting positive change. Yep. And then, with the church, with the youth, and then also with, the neighborhood market and getting people to come together. Different vendors out there with different foods. Wisteria Bakery, I think Chef Fasca was out there. Everybody else that comes out. And he's trying to build this up to be like a consistent thing. Every month have more people out there and being able to spread people's, not companies, but businesses and their wares, their art, stuff that they have and providing that in a safe place for people to come and shop. That's just dope. And that's always that. We've said this before. He's said this for a long time. Even the clothing company that he created is to use that to fuel the engine that is doing positive things in the community. So we love to see it. We are, always standing with Levasa Island Apparel, brother Uri and the family there in Modesto, California. You should too. Again, le_Vasa on Instagram. I think he's on TikTok too. But definitely, shout out to the brothers down there. All right, sports. My 3-year-old has started swimming class. And she's also going to do ballet. It's like community center. I think it's like $80 to $100 for, classes over a couple of weeks.
Did you want to ask me advice on ballet?
I
do a mean pirouette.
Nice. Just trying to think of like different sports activities that'll be functional, and then for her, just to like try a bunch of different things, see what you like.
In wrestling, huh?
No. We're doing wrestling. I'm trying to get her to watch a little bit of wrestling, but I'm realizing that maybe WWE isn't like age appropriate for a 3-year-old. And I don't necessarily want her to, go out there jackhammer slamming kids. Hey, this is how me and my dad played vertical suplex.
Some of my earliest memories of going swimming with my cousins is like body slam. Because you're in the water, man.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's doing swimming now. I had this idea in my head of her being, a natural Samoan wayfinder, just from the blood and from watching Moana a million times. This girl is taken to the pool like a fish to baseball. She is wandering all over the place. Doesn't know how to put her face in the water. Can't breathe underwater yet. Not breathe underwater, but can't hold her breath underwater. Like,
I was gonna say your expectations, buddy, are pretty high.
You see Aquaman? Come on,
skip one and went straight to Aquaman.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. But then I'm also thinking this is like the first time she's been asked to do these things, these exercises, this training, kick your legs, float, do stuff like that. So I'm really grateful that the teachers know how to work with like apparently first timers that have ever been in a pool. But stuff like that also coming up, which I'm pretty excited for, being that this is already a tall baby and I think will be a tall person. Basketball in a couple months. She's gonna. We got the little tykes all the way up to like the 4th, height setting, trying to get it all the way up. I'm like, shoot, enough of these easy rim dunks. Now it's time for you to shoot the basketball. But now, for you as a basketball coach, I was wondering, what are like for basketball? What should you be training? As like the introduction to the sport, because she's obviously had the little tykes, the orange little plastic basketballs, but thinking of the sport and like the activity and actually being athletic about it, but also understanding that it's the first time she's going to be in this kind of environment.
Definitely. I mean, at that age, first and foremost, you want to make sure they're having fun. Parents, please don't be those parents that put your kid on the floor and it's like, God damn it, you can't shit. Like, okay, let's chill out. You go outside of the gym. I don't need you in here. Second, the first skill she should be learning right now at 3 is definitely dunking. 360 at the best.
Get your 360.
Hey, if you can't, I'm telling you, Nora, if you can't 360 right now, you should just go play soccer. It's over. No, definitely. The 3. It's gonna sound basic, and people are gonna be like, "Yeah, duh," but dribble, pass, shoot. That's what you should be teaching them early. Just getting the hang of dribbling the ball, controlling it while you're dribbling, because a lot of people, when you're that age, you don't expect to have to like dribble hard. You know what I mean? Like you expect to bounce the ball once, it's always gonna come back to your hand, but you actually have to put some force to it. So just letting them get used to that, like dribbling. It's okay if their head's down at first.
Yeah.
Let them dribble and watch. You know what I mean? Till they get the hang of it, especially at 3.
Is there a kids size basketball like leather, like a Spalding? I've only seen the larger ones, or like
it's
women's basketball.
Women's basketball is gonna be smaller, so maybe one of those. They do have like actual kids balls. I don't know if they use those in the games, but like you can get like a one that's probably a little bit smaller than like the regular one. But since you guys also are at the house a lot, because she's only 3, I know she gets out a lot, but there's not too many courts where you can just let her run free and dribble around because people are playing. But they have those soft basketballs that you can bounce in the house. They're used for like kids can train. They sell them at Walmart. They're like $20. It's like a foam basketball, but they bounce. Nice. So that'd be great for her. That'd be great for her, and it's the size wise, like so she could grab it. It's a good size for her to learn from. It's of course lighter than a regular basketball.
Okay.
Basketball, but
Like a training basketball.
Right. You want her to be able to just like have the ball at all times and be able to dribble anywhere. And it's a quiet dribble. That's why they made it so you're able to like dribble around the house. Just so she gets used to having the ball in her hand and dribbling. That's a good thing to buy for her right now. Walmart, $20, and she can just dribble wherever she goes around the house.
I feel like she's just much more into coloring, cutting up, construction paper, and watching her kids' TV shows.
It's because she doesn't have the ball.
Yes. Oh, okay. Okay. Because she also does ask me to play with her. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to get her. Yeah.
See, and that's
see this training tool? It's actually a tool.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And then, when you're frustrated, you can throw it at her. She won't get hurt.
Did you see that basketball that was like 3D printed, but it was like holes?
Yeah, I saw that.
What is that? Was that rubber or was that plastic?
It's synthetic. No, I'm acting like I know what it is.
It's a polyurethane.
Hey, it has to be some kind of synthetic, like rubber or something, because it bounces. It
was sounding quiet.
So same concept as the ball I'm talking about right now. Only the one I'm talking about, and they made that for the same thing. So it could be just because the way it's structured, might be the same material, like a soft foam or something that bounces.
All right. Also, speaking of basketball, okay, dribble, pass, shoot.
Dribble, pass, shoot. You wanted to dribble first because you can't go anywhere without the ball if you don't know how to dribble it. Go ahead.
Okay. And is there anything as a coach, like basketball strategy wise, that you're?
Yeah.
I don't know if you like. Okay. So if a kid understands that, that's like a big jump.
Yeah, it's a big jump because as they get older, you won't really have to tell them where to go on the court. They'll know already. They've learned where to be on the court at certain times, where other players on the court should be at certain times. If you can teach a kid that early, it helps their development a lot. When they go out to camps, coaches will recognize it. When they're playing on the court with friends, or if they're in high school or just AAU leagues, they'll know where to be at to be successful on the court. In the corner for a three on a kick out, or they'll know when to crash the board or go to the basket when the ball is on the other side of the court. They'll know when to go to the basket and wait for a pass. They'll know when to slide or to pop out during the screen. So spacing is pretty big. If I could have taught myself that at a really early age, that's probably what I would have chosen to teach myself. Teach myself.
If I don't understand what that means, what is that? Spacing on the basketball court is
where to be at
spread out.
Times. Yep, spread out. Like you don't want to always be next to another person on the court. Like you have to have good spacing so that way, say for instance, if you're dribbling the ball, you don't want to be next to the dude dribbling the ball because one basic thing that coaches are going to tell you is all you're doing is bringing another defender closer to the ball. So now it's easier to defend the ball because you guys are right next to each other. And now there's two people to be able to defend, and then eventually they could trap. You know what I mean? And if whoever has the ball at that time, if they're not a good ball handler or they don't have vision, you trap the ball in the corner somewhere. That's a turnover. You don't want to be too close to another person again because now everybody's in the crowd, and you're again two defenders in one spot. So you want to be able to spread the court. You want to be able to on a pick and roll. If the roller doesn't roll and pops out, and the person that got the pick's going to the bucket, maybe you want to be closer to the bucket because it's going to have your man go somewhere. You got to understand where once the defense rotates, if you understand where everybody's going to go on the defense, same thing for you. You know where to go now. So it's important to know where to move. Moving without the ball.
Yeah,
that goes into that as well. So yeah.
And then finally, are there any teams you think of, like NBA teams or college teams in certain years that you can go back, watch the tape when you think of good spacing or good
Oh, for sure. There's always going to be one team that comes to mind is the Spurs team that had Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan,
Man.
you know.
Pass.
Oh my gosh.
Wide open shot, bang.
Sean Elliott.
Pass. Swing. Pass.
Robert Ory.
Easy layup.
Robert Ory built his career on being in the right spot at the right time. You know, just the spacing, where you should be at when the ball is moving. You know, where's your next rotation spot going to be at? Because you've seen the ball go from this person to this person to this person. You already know where that ball is going to end up. You know, especially if you have like a set play. You know, you're watching and you're seeing all the options go through. Because sometimes when you run the play, it's not always going to end up the way it ended up the first time. But you can understand now that since that option was used the first time, I should go to this place because they're expecting me to be here. So if I'm not there,
okay.
you know, so yeah, Spurs were just amazing. Ball movement on those Spurs teams was, man, nothing short of art, like pure art. It was crazy.
2005 to 2010 Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, but every pop team has good ball movement. Not great like those guys, but you'll still see the same ball movement with a lot of teams that were coached by Pop.
Which is why it's like I think a lot of people see him as a great coach. He over so many years. I mean, David Robinson, he had some really
he
great
had some
players.
Yeah, I mean,
but the way they so easily is like a beautiful. You think of like the beautiful game as far as basketball. It was this team that made defenses look silly. Right? Like defenses couldn't turn their heads fast enough to figure out what was going on. By pass number 7, someone was like laying it off the square for an easy two, and they were all getting back while you were like, what just happened?
Everybody knew where to go. Like, you know, it was amazing to watch.
All right. Game 7 of the NBA Finals completed on Sunday. The Oklahoma City Thunder take down the Halliburton-less Indiana Pacers to win, the first NBA championship for that team. Because they're not the same as the Seattle SuperSonics, right? They moved, so they're not the same. Or did they?
According to Gary Payton, no.
I mean, I'm down with that. I don't think. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no.
But
no, they're their own franchise. I mean, again, to bring up Gary Payton, he won't retire his jersey in Oklahoma because he didn't play there. You know, so they're definitely gonna not. They're not really gonna celebrate a championship in Seattle because it wasn't won there, even though the franchise came from Seattle. So totally different franchise.
They've been gone for so long.
Yeah,
there's talks about them 2005-ish.
There's talks about them in Vegas being the next cities to get an NBA franchise. So basketball back in Seattle would be great. It's a great basketball city. The people of Seattle love their Sonics. They still do. If you go, you can't go anywhere out here without seeing old Sonics memorabilia. You know, just super cool.
Vegas is like an obvious, big sports city to add a franchise to. Do you think there's a bigger one than Seattle, or do you think that's also the right pick?
No, I think that's the right pick because you can go down like Seattle's a great city. They still have the Storm here, who does pretty well. I just went to a FIFA World Cup club match that was played here the other day. So they're big with that, with the Seattle Sounders, who not too long ago played for a championship in the MLS. So big city, yeah. They got the Kraken out here, another hockey sports team. So pretty big in sports. So
and that fandom of the Sonics still there. That's like jump starting you don't have to start from scratch. People are already bought in from the history and stuff. I kind of feel like I don't remember the Sonics. Like, I mean, the Lakers beat the SuperSonics in the Ice Cube song.
There it is.
And was Gary Payton in Space Jam? No. But I feel like I didn't know a lot about the Sonics before they became the Thunder. What would you say the Sonics were famous for? And like their for their team and their city or whatever.
they were exciting to watch, man. And because Gary Payton was there, just he was gritty. Like he was one of those point guards. Like he outworked you. That's why he was so great on
Nice.
defense. They call him the glove because he would just clamp you up. That's what he was known for. But they were also known for high flying acrobatic dunks because Sean Kemp would dunk on everybody. If you want to go back, if you guys like dunk, Sean Kemp was a complete player. Let me tell you first, foremost, he could play. He's
I don't like
technically
his nickname.
The Rain Man. Hey man,
That makes me think of that makes me think of Steph Curry, long range, rain dropping it from the sky. The Rain Man was a dunker.
The dunker. He would because he rained down on you, and he was in the city that rained a lot, so it made sense. It made sense.
Got it.
He's also technically another straight out of high school player because he didn't really play college ball. Signed to play with Kentucky. Nice. Something happened. Ended up going to a community college where he played basketball, and then entered the draft straight out of the community college without ever having playing NCAA ball. I think 17 to the SuperSonics, if I don't remember. But you guys watch Blake Griffin? He was Blake Griffin before. He was doing he was doing Blake Griffin things before Blake Griffin came onto the scene.
Damn, okay.
Man, yeah, he take it to the hoop, he could rebound. He didn't just block your shot, he tossed that into the rafters, could run the floor for a 6'10, maybe 6'11 power forward. To get up and down the court the way he did is kind of like the way LeBron gets up and down the court at his size, just probably maybe a little bigger body, and his lift off the ground. Let me tell you, oh my gosh, there's one of the dunks he has against. I think Alton Lister was playing for Golden State at the time, but he just comes over and like windmills it on him, and when he falls down, it's iconic because he falls down and he's just like pointing at him like that. If you ever see, that's probably one of the most iconic dunks ever. He lands on the floor and he's already pointing at Alton Lister, who's laying on the baseline, like in the crowd, because he just shitted on him. But excuse my language. But yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Sean Kemp. They had a guy who I would liken to Dirk Nowitzki, not only because he's deadlift shrimp, German, but his style of play. A lot of people are going to probably associate deadlift with Indiana because how far they got with him on the team in the playoffs. But he was with the SuperSonics first. Man, he was a small forward that could do everything. He could dribble, pass, shoot the lights out, go to the hoop. He was pretty good. And then you guys got Ray Allen, quite possibly the greatest shooter in the league. People right now are like, Steph, okay, Steph. Yeah, whatever. Ray Allen was real. Like he was with the Bucks, came out first, but then when he got to Seattle, he was still dunking on people. Still go to the hoop. He had handles. Man, he go to the hoop.
It's always surprising to me that when I like look up Ray Allen highlights, they start with dunks.
I'm telling you.
Start with dunks.
I'm telling you. Coming out of UConn,
Jesus.
He's my favorite player. Like he's my favorite player in the NBA. From the time I like just watching Ray Allen. I remember him at UConn. Ooh, man.
Was he a shooter from UConn?
He was everything at UConn. Like I said, shooting is what you're gonna know him for, but what he did was everything. Like, man, he can play some ball. So yeah. So I just got a rich, like just history of people. And then you
hopefully they get a team back right away. Yeah.
Zach LaVine, Javonte Murray.
They came from Seattle.
All from they went to school in Rainier. What's his name? Gosh, why can't I remember my man that just had kidney surgery? Short dude, played for the Celtics. Oh my gosh, Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson is from Washington. The current
Nate Robinson reposted Cepha.
Oh, fire! I didn't know that. What were they talking about? That's dope.
He just was like, "Hey, I ran into your music. This shit is dope."
That's pretty fire.
Was like, Nate Robinson?
Oh yeah, because he messes with a lot of polys out here in Washington. He's from Washington. He's got a wing spot out on Capitol Hill, close to UW campus. Food's good. It's a chicken and waffle spot. You have to check it out. And then Banchero, he's from here in Washington.
Banchero.
Yeah, Banchero. So a lot of great history here in Washington.
Okay, so yeah, they're gonna get their team back and be able to rebuild that. The guys that stole their team just won a title. The Oklahoma City Thunder.
They did.
They have the MVP. SGA won the Finals MVP. They got They got Chet Holmgren. Who's that? SGA.
Yeah, free throw merchant. That's what they call him.
And then they also got
Is that not
Williams.
Part of the game anymore?
Is it? Aren't you not supposed to be able to do like free throw hunting, like fouling?
I mean, no.
I call it the James Harden.
Right. It's part
you
of the
get
game.
their arm over here, and now I'm shooting up into you. But they took that rule away. Yeah, they said you can't. It's an offensive foul if you try to be weird about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. It's weird.
So they won this title. It is very obvious that this is a young team by how many champagne bottles were left unpopped. I saw a bunch of clips of them not knowing how to even shake up the bottles. 31-year-old Alex Caruso had to be the guy to really shake it up and spray champagne bottles and show them even how to do it. But the Thunder are kind of getting some slack on social media about not being able to party right. Like that, they're showing clips of all these other sports championship teams winning, their championships and celebrating on the ice, celebrating on the court, in the locker room, on the field. And then they're saying the NBA has lost its aura because these guys are just taking a picture with some beers and then, walking away without celebrating. You think they celebrated enough?
I'm pretty sure they did off camera, like you're supposed to.
Yeah, there you go. They're getting their edibles on the way to the locker room.
Right. Not some of these drinkers that are acting showing their ass on the camera. People are weird. You know what I mean? They want to see people doing dumb shit, getting drunk in the corner. And then when something bad happens, and those are also the very first people to be like, that's just unprofessional. That's that's not how you celebrate the championship. It's like, shut the hell up. They're young. Hey, maybe they like a night at home with their family. Maybe they're celebrating at home.
Maybe they went and had dinner after or something.
That's what I'm saying.
Just because they didn't follow the norm. You're saying that's not, not people losing their passion for winning or something.
If I won an NBA championship, I'd celebrate a little bit with my teammates there, but because I know that all my people are at home, the barbecue's already started, the grill's already lit. There's probably 10 coolers at the house anyway. Hey. There's music that I want to listen to playing at the house. You know what I mean? And people that I want to hang out with, that's probably where I'm going to go after if I'm winning.
Wait, but this is your team. You guys just won the team championship.
They can come too.
You don't want to be at the facility with the squad? You want to go
that's
home.
What I'm saying. We can celebrate while we're there. And then after that, bro, y'all want to come back to the place as a spot? Food's there. There's good music. My people are there. Good people. The same people that helped me win that championship get to the place where I needed to be to win that championship. They're all waiting at home too. They want to celebrate too. So you guys can come too because you helped me win it, and those guys helped me get to it. That's where I want to be, with the people that helped me get to it as well.
I don't drink anymore. It's I've sworn off alcohol, but I don't drink unless I'm going to a drink. Nah, not at all.
I'm kidding.
If I'm going to a drinking function, then yeah, okay, set me up. Let's figure out what drink I'm drinking. I'll drink with everybody else. Sure. But I feel like if we won a championship, I'd probably have the family there, at the stadium, and we're all hanging out and stuff. I do want to go home and, enjoy it there, go home with the family and stuff, but I also would stick around freaking all night for the team that just ended up winning this championship. On the other side of this, we can talk about, the Thunder having hella draft picks still. You said they have the 15th overall pick.
The 15th pick
and they won the championship, and they have one of the top, top pick.
Yeah, the first round. That's crazy.
And how they're set up, what they need to do, but we'll have time for that later this summer. On the other side, Halliburton in the first quarter of Game 7 comes out 3 for 3 from 3, 9 points in 5 minutes or something like that. But then tears, has a lower leg injury. Looks like he tore his Achilles, and did not return for the rest of the game. The Thunder were up like 20, until the very end. I think they ended up winning by like 12. And it didn't feel like Indiana had, enough to make it work. I was kind of hoping Pascal Siakam would do something crazy, but Obi Toppin thought it was going to be Obi Toppin for a second. He freaking took the ball from half court and he was like trying to drive. But they lose their star in Halliburton. Halliburton with an Achilles injury on the final game of the year. How much time, we looked at this before, 6 to 12 months, 8 to 10 months for athletes on the recovery time. What do you think is a realistic time for him to come back? Is he missing, just most of the beginning of the season? Do you think he can miss the whole year, including the playoffs?
I think he could be back in time for the playoffs. I think, again, we were talking about this earlier, but our athletes their bodies are in tip-top shape. Like they train because this is their profession, so they've got to stay in shape. So when your body's in that type of shape, it has like the ability to heal maybe a little faster. Also, depending on the severity of the rupture. If it's a full rupture, of course, it's going to take the full amount of time to get back to it. If it's a partial rupture, partial tear, it might be a shorter time. But I think Hallie can get back by at least the playoffs. I think he might be getting back like mid, like
April,
yeah,
June, like or May.
The good thing for Hallie is like he runs a lot and he's explosive, so that's tough. But he's not one of those like
high flyer.
Yeah, like, but even that's like more ACL, MCL for him. It's the starting goal. Like he's gonna have to plant off of that foot. He's gonna have to explode off of that foot going forward, like pushing off of that foot and getting past somebody. That's where it's gonna affect him the most. So, um, yeah, I want to say like mid-season or at the latest playoffs. If the rest of the Pacers, which they can, because they're a pretty good team, all around. If they can stay in it, get into the playoffs, I think Hallie has a good chance of getting back and helping them in the playoffs.
That's another thing. He could be back by the playoffs, but will the Pacers be, in the playoffs without Halliburton the whole season?
Sure.
That's something
they're gonna have to
figure out.
They're definitely gonna have to think about like keeping some guys. I think, depending on what their roster looks like. I know Miles Turner was one of those guys that was harping about a trade for a long time until this season came around, and they're doing great. And after he stopped asking for a trade or like talking about it, like even the Pacers were like he was good trade bait. There's a lot of teams out there that looked at Miles Turner and was like, that'd be a great piece to add to the team for a championship run. I know the Lakers talked about it for a little bit.
Yeah.
The Spurs have been known to like ask about him. What's another team? New York asked about Miles Turner, the Knicks. So he'll have a lot of people at least asking, inquiring about him. But I think he's happy with the way things are there. They've got young guys like Nimbar, Siakam's there for at least a season, two more. So like they're core guys that keep that team running. I think they're safe under contract. So, but keeping key guys like you were just talking about how the Lakers might be a great franchise like up front with like signings but also they've never really been able to build like a team beyond the starters that have like a full team. So I think Indiana would be smart to keep the team intact. Maybe add, I don't know, just like I said, another big body. Like if I was Oklahoma this off season, they could trade that 15th pick for just a big body off the bench. I know they got the big white boy Ehrenstein. They picked him up for that same reason, but you can never have enough big bodies to help download. Everybody's seen Chet Holmgren. He's rail thin. He plays great defense. He can block shots. He's lengthy, but he don't bang down there like the big boys.
He could get posted up.
Yeah, he can get posted up, boxed out. So another big body in them before them would be great. I think over there in Indiana.
I'm thinking we've seen the injured late in the season superstar try to come back the next season. There's like two ways it feels like it could go. If it's late in the season and he still hasn't come back, there are like, okay, maybe he's not ready to ramp up and get into playoff game shape. Let's just wait until next year, something like that, where it's kind of like an early shutdown. The opposite of that would be like at 6 months, you hear some crazy reports. Halliburton with no cast on out there dunking or something like that. You hear like rumblings of that. And then if you can get him back on I think he needs to be playing before the playoffs just for that. It'd probably take another year after recovering from the surgery to get up to professional basketball player explosiveness or like start and go ability, acceleration, like you said. But just to be out there on the court good enough to be better than a liability or to be a positive, to have a positive plus or minus instead of being like someone that's like, oh yeah, he's the best player on our team, but he's not in the best shape and therefore becoming like a detriment. Like, it's going to hurt your team, then you should definitely cut that out. But if we hear, in December, Halliburton targeting a March return or something like that, then oh shit. Oh, is it the recovery is going well? The medical is starting to get cleared, stuff like that. And then you can have that little ramp up window before the playoffs.
You remember how Jets fans were going crazy when they had reports of Aaron Rodgers just throwing passes in like practice, or like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is seen walking around with no cast. Like people were going wild, like, oh wow, oh no, like, you know what I mean? They really thought he'd be back for it, and then they were mad when he did come back. But that's besides the point. But yeah, like just a little bit of encouragement could go a long way, even for the team. Like if they can see that he's like progressing, maybe he doesn't make it back like this coming season. But if the team looks at him and like he's about to make a full recovery for the following season, that could be important for the team too to see that, and they could make for a run. They're really good too. They're a solid team, so they could still do really great things. Of course, he's such a big part of that team, not just like playing wise, but like the way he carries the team, like emotionally and just
captain.
Yeah, captain of the team.
Even temper. Telling his dad to sit down. Dad, sit down.
Right. Or I was gonna say maybe they can get his dad to suit up and sit on the bench in his place. You know what I mean? Maybe that'll spark.
Does he want to get on the court? All right. Congrats to the Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton. Hopefully a speedy recovery for the Pacers guy. All right. Jim Harbaugh was quoted as saying left tackle Joe Alt from
Notre Dame
is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. This is the second year. This is the second year of Joe Alt's NFL career. Right,
smartest thing he's ever said.
The 5th overall pick, a unit, huge, right? Big guy, moving people around like the offensive line should. Hall of Fame trajectory. It was pretty early, right? And I'm glad he said trajectory, right? Not like, oh, this guy's a Hall of Famer, just dead set, like hard stop right there. So I wanted to kind of go through the Chargers and Raiders rosters and see if there are any players on a Hall of Fame trajectory that you could think about or who you'd know. Joe, well, let's start with what Harbaugh said. Joe Alt? It's only been a year, right? This is just his second training camp. How do you see it so early, so fast? What is he showing?
A more athletic Tony Baselli. That's what you're getting. A more athletic Tony Baselli.
Jeez.
That's what you're getting. That's what you're getting. For you.
Put him in the hole.
Right. These guys out here like Tony Baselli. Who's that? Tony Baselli was a giant of a man who was pretty nimble on his feet, played for the Jaguars his whole career. Was amazing. Was he not the number one pick in his draft? I think
so.
Yeah. So, man, he could play ball. Left tackle for the Jags for a long time. So, and Joe Alt, by all accounts, is more athletic than he was. just maybe about the same size. Um, if you saw Joe Alt early in his career and everything, you would have thought he was a basketball player, like a power forward or something. Uh, just yeah, that's the kind of shape he was in. So he does everything you need him to do, man. He can move. He can move people forward if you need to. He can slide out, play that pass protection. Just he's smart. He's super smart too. So
like more so than to make it seem not to use generational, but like to be a player that is worthy of the Hall of Fame, you got to be up and above, your peers, right? You got to be one of the best.
definitely.
So is the stuff that he does, do you think he does it in such a way that's already elite?
I do. You're gonna see him now. He can play left tackle, but he's playing right tackle, which for his career, if we're talking like Hall of Fame, is gonna help him because he's gonna look so much more like dominant on that right side because he can play left tackle, and that's where you usually put your best tackle is that left tackle. Fortunately and unfortunately for him, they have Rashawn Slater at the left tackle, who's also very, very good. But if you leave Joe on the right side for now, he's gonna look like the most dominant right tackle you've ever seen because it's a lot easier than playing the left tackle, the blind side. So the left side is where all the best edge rushers are at. I mean, they'll switch them up, they'll match guys, but like if you have Rashawn Slater on one side, it's not like you can be like, well, let's move him to the other side because it's a lot easier. You can't do that. On the Chargers line, you can't look at that line and pick and choose now, because wherever you go, whether it be the left tackle, right tackle, you're still going to get bullied out there. You're still going to get pushed around by two of the best tackles in the league. Probably the only thing the Chargers have going for them right now is their left and right tackle. Other than that, the rest
of a standout. We got other things going.
Yeah, the rest of the team's rubbish.
When I think about Joe Alt at the right tackle, being a Hall of Famer, I could see it, right? Because like you said, at the right tackle spot, it's like you're getting less fearsome, right? You usually put the best rusher over the left tackle or the right tackle. So
that's the idea.
But I don't feel that confident about Rashawn Slater making the Hall of Fame, who's already all pro, was already one of the top guys trying to vie for the most expensive tackle contract.
That's what I'm saying. You don't think that because he hasn't signed that extension yet.
No. I think it's like boring, right? Like, especially for like if you're not a Charger fan, you might not even know who Rashawn Slater is. He might be one of the best left tackles in the world, but look, you don't know about him because he's like, whatever.
But that's what you want. You don't want, if you know, you know what I mean? There's only two reasons why you're going to know your left tackle. One, because he's a giant of a man, and you can't not be like, that fucker's huge. That guy's huge. But also, you're going to know him. Why? Because he gives up a lot of sacks or gives up a lot of tackles.
That's when you're going to know the left tackle's name.
You're definitely going to know him if he's shitty. If you don't know him, like, that's actually pretty good. Like, because you won't hear his name called too often during games. Like, oh, that was Slater's side. You know what I mean?
Because he's shoring up his side. Right. He's doing his job, so not giving up sacks. Okay. All right, that's a good point. I'll take that. That's fair. Yeah. Some other guys that I thought of on this roster that could be Hall of Fame worthy. I don't think Justin Herbert's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He had the big passing yards early. I think he won Offensive Rookie of the Year after coming out. Tyrod Taylor. Shout out to his lungs.
Oh man. I hope he wins his lawsuit against the Chargers.
Yeah, me too. But Herbert is 0-2 in the playoffs. Wild card hasn't been able to win a divisional round yet. So if this continues over a long career, I don't think he's gonna. Maybe he'll get like the career total stats that might get him into the Hall of Fame. Most yards ever thrown by a quarterback, something like that. But I feel like the Super Bowl and winning in the playoffs is such a huge boost to your
for sure
Hall of Fame candidacy. So at this, if this stays the same, then I don't think Justin Herbert makes it to the Hall of Fame. If Jim Harbaugh turns the team around and we get better stuff around him and that leads to more wins and maybe even a Super Bowl, I think Justin Herbert's a shoo-in if that happens. But without it,
nah. You guys are about to put if he's not in there already, a quarterback whose career is almost mirroring Justin Herbert into the Hall of Fame.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said you guys have already put one in or are about to put one in to the Hall of Fame whose career is almost.
Oh, don't do that. You're talking about Gunnar Rivers' dad, Philip, man Phil,
and all his kids, even the one that's getting recruited now by all these colleges. Yeah.
I saw a meme that was like, you guys realize that every year or two we're gonna get a new Rivers kid taking over as the best quarterback for the next 20 years.
Man, I love to see it, especially if he's got a little girl that's gonna take over flag football as a quarterback. That's gonna be fire
too. Yeah. Some other players on the Chargers that might have this Hall of Fame trajectory that Harbaugh was talking about.
Oh, there's more?
I could see Derwin James. Although it's kind of like on the same thing as Justin Herbert, great individual player, but also has had some problems, right? Hasn't won, I mean, I guess defense is harder to kind of tie it to a defensive player, right. Wins or Super Bowls, the way they do to coaches and quarterbacks. Derwin James doesn't have the hardware on his resume, but he's like been a defensive player of the year candidate at least, and is one of the best safeties, can cover, has locked up Travis Kelce. So he should be able to get there just like on how exemplary and elite his play has been. But he's also been, suspended, missed time, injured.
Hey, bro, let me tell you, bridesmaids don't get married. Only the bride, okay? You can't be almost a defensive player or almost a candidate.
No. I know he's been a defensive player of the year candidate. I can't remember if he's won one, but
I don't think he's won one yet. But yeah,
so I mean, he's a really good tool. Can blitz also, right? He gets quarterback sacks, he gets big hits, he gets interceptions, he covers their best players, stuff like that. So he should, but I don't think the shine is there.
No, I think on numbers alone he might make it. I mean,
okay.
But I'm also offended that those are your first two people that you picked on your list of players that might make the Hall of Fame when there's one player that you could have named off the bat that's probably a guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer.
Guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer on the Chargers, Khalil Mack.
There you go. And not because of the things he did with the Chargers, but because of what he did with the Raiders. But
where did he play? He played for the Bears too,
yeah. No, because I mean, the things he did, because he got to the Chargers not like late in his career, but later. So the things he was able to do, like from where he was with the Raiders, great career with the Bears, and then got to the Chargers and was still able to put up great numbers. I mean, some of them were against the Raiders, sadly to say, but there's no way he doesn't get in. I think if he doesn't get in on the things he's done on all three spots, that's crazy.
Khalil Mack definitely first ballot Hall of Famer. That is disservice by me for not lining him up first.
Yeah, man.
I also blame Khalil Mack for how much acceptance I gave to Derek Carr, because those two were best buddies. And I was like, well, if Khalil Mack thinks he's cool, then he must be cool. He just looks like a goofy ass.
Hey, he can still be cool. He's probably just goofy.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I love that. I love their brotherhood. And like,
that might have been the one of the hardest moments for me waking up in the morning. Because I remember, I don't know what happened, but
trauma.
I was talking to Noah the night before, and I was like, Dad, we were joking about it. I was like, man, the only thing worse could happen is if I wake up in the morning and they traded Khalil Mack. I get up in the morning to check the notifications on my phone. and my Bleacher Report alert is up. It says, just in. Khalil Mack trade. Oh my gosh.
Like, what is this match?
What? I was like, I must be sleeping. Somebody wake me up.
Wake me up. Wake me up. Wake me up.
I was like,
that was crazy. Why did John Gruden had just rejoined the Raiders? And the first thing he did was ship off Khalil Mack?
Yeah. The only reasoning I have is because he wanted to get more picks, or he probably had someone who was looking at in the draft or getting a fresh start with a team of his own. But
what are the names you can remember that they drafted after?
I can't. I just I seriously thought of giving up watching football for a whole season when I saw that, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And so, just wild to think that.
Could have had a Hall of Famer on your team for 15 years.
Yeah, because there was no indication that he wanted to leave. So,
right,
like, it was like, what the? To
Chicago? Someone I'm excited to follow their possible Hall of Fame trajectory is Tuli Tuipulotu from
some school in Southern California.
University of Southern California Fighting Trojans. The Fighting Trojans.
Yeah, fighting for their life right now.
Tuli, this is year 3 after being drafted in the second round a couple of years ago, where this is going to be his actual opportunity to take the reins. The Chargers traded away Joey Bosa, who they drafted second overall, and pretty disappointed by, but also did really good. This is Tuli's turn to play across Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is also on a 1-year deal, right? This is probably going to be his final year of playing football.
Yeah.
Tuli is going to step in as the lead pass rusher of this franchise, right? I'm sure they're going to get more people, try to build up, coach up more people, but being a second round pick only a few years ago, this is also where they're going to determine if they want to keep him for longer. All that talk about extension, making the bag, making it longer. This is the season where Tuli gets to perform in such a way that it could lead to those conversations, and he's going to get the opportunities. Bud Dupree, they also re-signed, extended, which was like, what's going on? Because I thought I saw Bud Dupree take a lot of pass rush opportunities away from Tuli last year. Like, instead of seeing Tuli's number, I would see freaking Bud Dupree's like 48. And I'm like, why is this guy out here instead of the young gun that did great the year before in his rookie year? But even though Bud Dupree's still there, the talk from the coaches is this is Tuli's year. This is his chance to step up. And if he does a good enough job and then keeps that for a long time and then shows that, the flashes of power, of pushing, of strength aren't just flashes, that's what he does, then definitely could see him becoming a Hall of Famer one day and retire with the Chargers. And then this is kind of the most confident person on the Chargers that I think could be in the Hall of Fame. Cameron Dicker. The kicker.
Oh, I was about to say, who the hell is Cameron Dicker?
First of all, the name is a Hall of Fame name. Dicker the kicker. It's so explanatory. It rhymes.
Kicker you can say
Dicker. Yeah.
without being.
It's a Cameron Dicker. Also, he's like the first person in 60 years to make one of those fair catch free kicks.
Yeah.
You got that? That jump started a comeback last year for a win. And he's like making 60-yarders, 50-yarders with consistency. It's something like that where he could be the Vinatieri, but
so basically,
no, basically it's just a name and a decent kicker. Like,
he's actually already in the Hall of Fame because he got to use that rule.
Oh yeah, they took that ball and stuff and put it into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I said Vinatieri, but I feel like Vinatieri wasn't like, he was clutch and stuff, but it was like they won 3 Super Bowls off of last second field goals. Like, he went down as a Super Bowl winning clutch guy. Cameron Dicker already making big kicks if he continues that way, and also provides the Chargers with a freaking, consistency, reliability in a position that's been wishy-washy for us. Since we released Young Wei Koo. We drafted him. He was on our team. So those are the guys I could think I could see on the Hall of Fame trajectory right now. Probably might be missing some, but is there anybody on the Raiders you think is going to end up with a gold jacket someday?
Oh yeah, I mean, you can throw a rock in any direction, and
oh my god, and break a Allegiant window stadium window.
Just saying, man. You asked, I'm telling you, gosh. Nah, of course, everybody's first thought would be Max Crosby, of course. Just beginning of a story. Fifth round pick coming out of Eastern Michigan. In fact, a defensive end that they picked at 4. When
that was same draft.
Same draft. And so and then all the stuff that he's doing now, and man, just like the dedication that he has to the Raiders, also alone should he might go down as one of the best Raiders ever, just as a team player. Where he rides for the Raiders, and then the sobriety.
It's such a good fit. They're the Raiders' image and how he plays and presents himself. Yeah,
for sure. That's probably what I know a lot of people with the Raiders image before was just tough guys or thugs in the league or people who didn't follow the rules. But I think Max Crosby has taken that and molded it into his own type of image that people want to see the Raiders for. Just a hard nosed, working kind of player, super gritty, no nonsense. Gets out there, does the job well, but he's rough, he's tough. So I think he's done that. I think he's done well to reshape, not change, but reshape the image of what a Raiders player is. And then just you've seen his numbers. The numbers alone will probably get him into the league. But I think that the things that he's doing for the Raiders on and off the field for his college, Eastern Michigan, the way he's out there now as a GM for them, assistant GM, and then
if his numbers are stay productive and he keeps being dominant, he's a first ballot.
That's what I'm saying.
Hall of
first
Famer.
Ballot Hall of Famer. And then just the story that he's going to with his sobriety and his recovery, and it's a great story. You know what I mean? So of course, Max Crosby.
I see that
For sure, Max Crosby. Colton Miller, I would have said maybe about 2 years ago, but with injuries now, I don't know. Geno Smith, of course, could go, depending on what he does now with the Raiders. I think there could be a spot for Geno Smith in the
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like I said, what he does now with the Raiders is probably what would probably get him into it, where he can lead them, what he can do there. Because numbers alone, I don't know if he could do it with numbers alone. He doesn't have eye popping numbers, but
if he can Eli Manning 2 Super Bowls together,
so something like that.
Okay, but who's already got some upward trajectory?
Just off of just off of who you say?
The first year of Brock Bowers setting records.
Oh, for sure. I'm sorry. Brock Bowers. You talking about Brock Bowers already setting records. I mean, even Kelsey came out and said that Bowers is taking the mantle from him. He's already not on the outs, but not the same place as he was in his career. And he sees that Bowers has probably taken over for him as probably the best tight end in the league, which is crazy because Kittle playing, you still have Mark Andrews, guys like that still playing Freiermuth, So for him to say stuff like that, and
you believe what Travis Kelce is saying?
Oh yeah, he's pretty good.
You listen to Travis Kelce now?
Yeah, there's certain times he speaks truth. So this is one of them. Also, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll definitely a Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Definitely a Hall of Fame there. Mark Davis might go in as an owner.
What do owners get inducted into the Hall for? I seen a bunch of and they're long time, important to the league. So if you just stay there a long time,
is he not? No, he is. That's what I'm saying. No, so we're talking about marketing, but I'm saying to know what you get into the Hall of Fame for as an owner, you have to look no further as guys like Al Davis. Just he did a lot of controversial things, but he did a lot of great things for not just the Raiders but the league. Then you guys like Robert Kraft, the job he's done over at New England, with just being the owner of the team, then winning those championships, him being there, he's got to be in the league and into the fame as well. The slave owner down in Dallas.
Is he in there already?
I don't know. He's in there.
I would say he is the most famous owner.
Yeah, and he'll get in for things like that, just business wise with Dallas and then. Yeah, they'll get in for things like that. They won't get in like records. Of course, Kraft is gonna have to get in for records because of how well the New England Patriots had that run of championships. So I mean,
Okay.
he'll get in on the heels of Belichick and
you just
and
had
Tom Brady.
you just had to be the person overseeing them when they
Right?
won.
Yeah, exactly. So,
It's
but
like, oh, hey, your team's good here. You're a Hall of Famer.
yeah. Then Gentry, of course, I think right now he hasn't played it down in the league yet, but I think a lot of people think that he's going to come into the league and just be like, I think they think he's going to be a really great running back, able to make that into his career. One of his career goals is to make the Hall of Fame. I think he has that. But for certain players, is Max Crosby and Brock Bowers, and then of course Coach Carroll. So yeah.
And you're a partial owner.
Yeah, he's off.
He's kind of like a shoo-in.
He's not a partial. I mean, partial. If he's not a first ballot, then I don't know what is. So
yeah, Tom Brady, 7 rings. Okay, those are the Hall of Famers. Those are the guys that we think have a chance at the Hall of Fame or have shown some like flashes that they might be all-time elites for the Chargers and Raiders. If there's anybody on your team you're listening to this that you think is already on the Hall of Fame trajectory, like Jim Harbaugh said Joe Alt is, message that below because we want to check. And also, I want to tell you no if you're being delusional.
right.
If you're like, oh, Jacoby Myers, I'm like, no.
Whoa! What is that? What are you doing?
That's just the first thing that came up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's like, hey, what are you doing, bro?
You could have said Brock Purdy. What are you doing?
I know. Yeah, my bad. That's just the first thing that came up. I'm sorry. All right. I asked these questions. I asked the pod boys some TV trivia questions so that they could battle amongst themselves. It's always
don't come for me if I get these wrong, folks.
But in a little behind the scenes, we're also filming on the same day that we recorded that. So I'm going to ask Forrest these and see how many he can get. Okay. And then we can compare that. But if you want to hear the pod boys on the Polytickin Patreon answer these TV trivia questions, make sure to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com.
That's $5 you'll ever spend.
At least $5. Yeah. 5, 10, whatever you want. The more support it is. All right. I'm going to go through these. 90s animated show featuring Angelica, Chucky. Nice. Name the 4 brothers on the TV show Malcolm in the Middle.
Malcolm and his brothers.
The Simpsons debuted in December 17th, 1989. How many episodes do you think they have premiered since then?
Oh man, 1,000?
790. Oh. What Fox TV show features a talking dog named Brian?
Family Guy. I don't know why I was thinking something else. Anyway.
What superfood gave Popeye the Sailor Man super strength?
Oh, easy. Balsamic. Spinach.
What was Popeye's girlfriend's name?
Olive.
Including the live action movies, how many theatrical films of Dragon Ball have aired all time?
Any theatrical? Including the movies?
Including the movies. Including the live action movie.
Oh.
How many Dragon Ball movies are there? Maybe it should have been. People were mad. Oh. This guy's white!
You know what? I only remember 2.
Even the cartoon movies?
Yeah.
It says 24. 1 live action, 2 unofficial.
It's what you didn't let me finish. I said 24.
21. Yeah. Pat Sajak, Wheel of Fortune, retired this year.
Yes.
Who is the new host of Wheel of Fortune?
Ryan Seacrest.
Vanna White is a longtime host of the Wheel of Fortune. What year do you think she began?
1980? 79.
Close. 1982. Oh. The mother in How I Met Your Mother carried what item that helped Ted Mosby identify her?
I hate that I don't know this. I watched that shit religiously when I come home from when I was bouncing. That's the first thing I would put on. What does she carry? I don't know. What is it?
A yellow umbrella.
Oh man, and I was thinking something totally different. I was thinking the blue horn that they stole from the
the blue French horn. Yeah, that was really early. Do you remember the 5 names of the main characters in How I Met Your
Mother? Lily, Barney.
Yep.
Robin, and Lily, and oh my gosh, Ted, of course. And I want to say Cameron, but that's not his name.
Cameron Erickson?
Lily and Eric.
Lily and
what's his name?
Marshall.
I don't know why I want to say Cameron.
What year did SpongeBob SquarePants premiere on Nickelodeon?
92.
99. How many nations are in Avatar, and name them?
The Fire Nation, the Wind People, Earth, and water.
This one needed this one. He needed this answer for a redemption to get back in the game, and lost on a technicality. It's like
what they say.
Wind Nation. Stuff was like the Wind Nation, the Water People. And we were like, it's the Air Nomads. It's the Earth Kingdom. It's yo, sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/the Polytickin Podcast, to hear some of the other stuff that we're doing. You did, what'd you get there? 1, 2, 3.
I got enough.
You got like 5 out of 10. That's pretty good.
I watch a lot of TV. They are coming out with another book for the Avatar.
Another book?
Yeah.
Does that mean a season? The books are the seasons?
Yeah.
Damn.
So that'll be out, I think sometime late this year.
All right, new Avatar coming at you. Thanks for listening to the Ballinesian Podcast here on the Polytickin Network. Super Bowl 60. I tried looking up the signing up for passes and stuff, but I haven't been able to find like a link or anything. I think that's still to come.
Might just be a little early because they haven't figured out like logistics for everything that's going to go on in the city.
But when Marcus was on here last week talking about it, there's a bunch of things that we could like look at and prep for as early as possible. That way it's, doesn't sneak up on us later. So definitely putting that into the notes. And then figuring out ways to raise money for this. Gambling? Fantasy sports? A different name. But doing different leagues, I want to do like just having people sign up to try new fun things, especially during football season.
I know that none of my family listens to this, so I'm just gonna tell them myself. I took, what did I have? I had $300 on last week, and I was like, should I just like save this shit and like add it to like
shoot it to the muckle?
I went to the EQC year 5, but this is a good story for the first time.
Oh
yeah. Usually I come in and be like, yeah, that's $300, and then I did it. But I doubled it.
Yeah.
I went with 3. I only needed to play with the 100, but I won. I actually made a little bit more than double. I won $550.
Wow.
So like, and you know how you're playing and you're like, oh shit. So I got like I think I got like a $7 win first. So I was like, oh cool. Maybe I should go now. Nah, I should play another spin. So I played like a couple more spins, and then I hit like 120. And so, shit. All right. So I then played a couple ones. Like I think I had gotten up to like 290, and I was like, and I had that feeling like, bro, you are gonna be so shit. You're gonna feel so shitty. You're gonna take this money and just leave right now. And I was like, so I convinced myself, which never happens, to take the money out and go. And I was like, 2 more spins. And I hit the 2 more spins, and it got me. Those 2 spins got me the 550 from 290, and I was like, all right,
damn,
let's go.
yeah, definitely got to go now. Oh, good stuff.
Yeah,
and being able to walk away
for sure. And then
because that's where I always end up losing. I'll get up
right.
$100-$200, but it's still in the machine, and I'm like, oh, just another.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I left all together. The 550 I went with the 200 I still had in my pocket.
Nice.
So yeah, I come up, and then the next day, my engine started making noises, and it sounded like my drive belt was broken, and the car was slowly losing power. So I went to check it out. But also, thank God it wasn't the drive belt, because that's like $700-$900. I had an oil leak, so there was no oil. So they fixed that, and that only cost me like
nice,
like 120. So I'm still up. Amen. Thank you, God. That's my
look
great.
At God. Look at God.
My great gambling story for the fundraising that we're about to do, which is not gambling, I promise. Yeah, we're looking at. I mean, there's even they're about to have uh like a little community fair here in the area we live in, Puyallup. My sister was talking about making musubis and selling it. So
oh, nice.
yeah, we might go down there and do that stuff. Shit. If me and my brother-in-law, if we're both like not tired, I might talk him into like doing barbecue and showing the non-colored people of Puyallup what would be is on a barbecue grill. So you know what I mean?
They're just biting into it. They're like, it melts in my mouth, and I'm like, that's how hot fat works.
One of my guys over here, super cool dude. His name's Eric. Is my niece's boyfriend, but he's like family already. We go down to anytime we travel to Portland, we cannot not go to Matt's Barbecue out on Mississippi. They do burnt ends there that taste like candy. Like, oh my gosh. I'm telling you. They're like they're not seared. Maybe they're like, I don't know if they're on the grill or if they're being like in the oven, but they're just burnt to perfectly with the barbecue sauce on it. So it tastes like it's like almost everything caramelizes on the burnt ends. And I'm trying to do that with wood beef. That's my point. I'm trying to do that. I didn't see That's what I'm saying. Like,
okay, I'll drive up. Let me know when you start doing that. I'll drive
up. Yeah. Oh man. Also,
very well.
Also, I was talking to Josh. He had an idea, and I'm thinking about it. If you guys are Samoan, go grab yourself some Samoan sausage bangers, mash those up, or kind of ground it.
Okay.
Make yourself a smash burger. Put the burger in. Make the gravy. Slap the onions on top of the burger with the gravy and a little bit of balsami, and you have a burger.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
Oh, we need to write that down and get the ingredients lined up. We need to try that.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
You open up a food cart.
Yes, that's the idea.
Let us know. Let us know, guys. Is that something you would eat? Because it is.
If you have any fundraising ideas, and other than me and Lance throwing our ugly mugs on a GoFundMe,
no.
Without any actual real purpose of helping people. Of course, we're always going to try to help people, but try to avoid that. But yeah, give us some ideas.
What is the bread on that burger, on that smash burger? Like a regular sesame bun? Oh
man, you have to get like a regular sesame. It has to be a sesame, not one of these cheap. Like no offense to cheap buns, because I still use it for burgers. But for this burger, you'd have to get
a
nice burger with sesame buns, and you'd have to butter before you put your mayo whatever on it. Butter both insides of the buns and put them on the grill as well, and let that toast real nicely, and then
banger smash burger, onions, gravy, balsami,
yes sir,
topping.
Yes sir.
I'm so hungry right now. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. It is lunchtime for me. We'll see you guys next time. It's Wednesday, 9 a.m. Okay, whether that's on YouTube or Apple, Spotify. I don't have to tell you. You just subscribe, follow, rate, all that. But get it wherever you get it. Okay, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and definitely to support the network. Hop onto the Patreon. patreon.com/Polytickin Podcast. That's where it goes down. Shout out to Levasa Island Apparel again on Instagram, Le_Vasa, LE_VASA. Islands and cultures accurately and responsibly putting on for the culture. Catch the wave. Also, LevasaIslandApparel.com. But we'll see you guys next week. Any shout outs or anything on the way out?
Oh man, just shout out again because I'm always trying to help them out, like because you can never have too many clients when you're doing it. But shout out to at Lee_Inc on Instagram, at Teeny Needles on Instagram, and at A1 Tatao Inc. Or actually just A1 Tatao at on IG. You know, go check them out, man. That's Li'i Vaufusi out there. That's Teeny V tattoo artist, and then our guy Josh Filoy, man. They're doing really, really dope stuff with tattoos, and you know, the artwork that they put out is just amazing. Like
skills.
Lee just did a black and white. I think he did one for Teeny actually. Got it on Teeny's shoulder. Looks amazing. I know Josh has been traveling. He went to I almost said a fair. He went to a expo in Tennessee, but along the way he's been just tattooing people like from Tennessee to California to Reno. He's on the grind right now, like traveling doing tattoos. Teeny's out here with Lee at Paca Polynesia. Shout out to at Paca Polynesia on Instagram. That's the shop that they tied out of. I think you're classmates with the owner, King Mataval. You know if you went to school with King.
So long ago.
Yeah, King's from Nauli. He went to Taupuna High School. He owns a shop. Also a great artist. Who's at Paca Polynesia. Man, check these guys out, man. Whether you're wanting something realism, or as people say, I say traditional. People say tribal. Whatever you want to call it. Just shout out to those guys, man. The work that they do is incredible. And some of the stories with the people that they tattoo are pretty cool, like cover-ups that they're doing, or the portraits that they do for people, the meanings that they have to them, you know, just super cool, man. Super cool. And these guys are great artists, and I think they deserve to be shouted out. If I could shout them out every show, if my memory would let me do it, I have. But but I partake in things that take away from my memory. Anyway, but shout out to those guys, man, and shout out to the Pod Boys for always being on point, man. Just what they do as well is man, always on top of it, man. Always ready to record. Always great topics. Always great takes. So good for them, man. Shout out to you too, man, for being the brains of this operation. Because God knows, I could not be the brains of anything. No.
We're all out here grinding it out. Good stuff. Shout out to the network. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you and to the listeners. Appreciate you guys for tapping in and listening. Let us know what you think. What you think of this episode. What you want us to talk about next time. At Ballinesian on IG and TikTok, and Ballinesian@gmail.com if you're trying to email. But that's what we got for this week. We'll see you next Wednesday. For Coach Forrest, I'm Lance. Thanks for listening. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay ballin', love and light. Peace.
Yeah.